Welcome to your message. Let me know if you guys cannot hear me but hope you guys are having a good day. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're doing something that you love. Today, this is a message for those that need a gentle reminder that you're doing so much better than you believe. You know, you're doing so much. Just because you're not where you want to be yet does not mean that it's never going to get here or it's never going to manifest, right? You have to understand that all of your life, right? All of the goods, the ups and the downs, it's been building you, right? It's been building you. It's been giving you that confidence, that courage to keep going. It's been instilling these little lessons without you even recognizing, right? In the moment. Without you even understanding or recognizing how much you've been growing or how much you've been literally existing in your dream already. Life is about, you could probably hear my cats in the background. I don't ever try to control them. So you're just gonna have to deal with it, but I don't mean for it to annoy you. Just never forget how far you've already came. The vision that you have needs to be maintained, right? You need to, damn, they're everywhere. Don't forget how much you're loved, right? By your spirit team, by your spirit guides, by your angels, by God. Like, don't ever forget how much you're loved. The fact that you're here is a blessing within itself. But just to touch on some of these points and topics that we have, you're exactly where you need to be, especially if you're not where you want to be yet. Trust the process is the first kind of dot. So I don't know, with my life, I've always felt I should be doing something that's helping more people. I should be doing something that is healing, right? I always had this feeling, right? But I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know which way to go, which path to walk in order to do that or fulfill that. And that made me really discouraged because I knew what I could be capable of, but I wasn't fulfilling that purpose yet, right? But when I trusted the process and I just understood, I just kept believing. I had that faith, right? I had the faith that it was going to come. That's when things started to fall into place. Like the fact that I was doing XYZ for so many years and then slowly, without me even realizing it, I just slowly transitioned into what I knew I should be doing, right? Like helping people who want to be helped, right? Or who need guidance or whatever. I started doing it without even understanding that that's what was happening. So it was really great clarification or confirmation for me that even that previous journey I was on, right? There was lessons within that journey that I needed before I could get to where I was supposed to be. So just because I wasn't where I wanted to be yet, right? I didn't understand. I was learning lessons I had to. I was learning lessons that I needed to, right? But I didn't even know it. I was just like, why is that thing not here yet? I'm so sorry for these cats. But I love them, so whatever. All right, next, we surrender to your mind and your thoughts so that you can hear your heart. All right, surrender to your mind so that you can hear your heart. Because your heart, we all have intuition, right? But when our heart is speaking to us, that is the essence and the energy of spirit, the divine, right? Your heart and your intuition, very closely related. But your heart is something that is the purest form of source of energy of love, right? So when your heart is talking to you, that that's the way to go. You know how to move forward. But in order to hear your heart, you have to surrender. When I say surrender, I mean surrender to your mind, right? You have to really let that part of you that wants to already know the answer or already have the answer or know how to move forward. You have to surrender that part of you, because if you don't have the answers, you don't have the answers. If you need the answers, you can have the answers. The answers are here for you. They're within you. But in order to hear them and understand them and perceive them, you have to let go of that egotistical part of you that we all have that wants to just tell you where to go, what to do, and convince you it's right. If it doesn't feel like it's from your heart, you'll know. Because you've made many decisions, probably unknowingly up till this point in your life, from your heart, right? And I feel like, yeah, okay, we're gonna keep going. Next, let go of expectations, right? Let go of self-limiting expectations. You don't have anything to prove to anybody. You don't gotta prove nothing to no one, right? You're not in the circus, right? You don't have to be like a lot of these people in the world that it's like they need to use social media to get attention and feel validated. Like if that's what you want, that's what you want. But you don't have to do that just because everyone wants, just because that's a very familiar path currently, right? Like you don't have to conform or feel less than just because you don't want to conform, right? Like don't put expectations on yourself. And this is like something that I'm still trying to learn personally. Like you have nothing to prove to anyone. I think because of my past journey, I've been very like, oh, I wanted to do this for so long and it never worked. And now it's like something's starting to click. So it's like, now I got to prove to the world that I always knew who I was. It's like, there is no necessity for that type of energy, right? In any of our lives. You don't have to prove yourself to nobody. You don't got to make a point just because once upon a time people didn't see you for who you were. You know, like this is a reminder that you're doing so much better than you believe, because you're letting some of us let our past experiences kind of dictate how we perceive our progress or where we're at, you know? So it's like when you can detach from that, right? Your past is your past and it was necessary and you learned a lot, but don't let it be something that is holding you back, right? At least from seeing your own truth. And so that just goes hand in hand with the next like thing, like make peace with your past. You don't gotta be Mr. Nice Guy. You don't gotta be the nicest person in the room, right? You don't gotta even forgive them face to face, but you do need to forgive yourself, anyone else who is involved for the trauma you've been through or the self-limiting behaviors that you are attached to, or you don't have to hold on to that. You can, and it helps you feel like validated, right? Speaking from personal experience, like holding on to all of that, those things that we know are fucked up, but we don't know how to let go of, like it makes us feel safer that we understand what happened. We see the truth. We know it was so messed up that never should have happened to us, right? So it's like holding on to it makes us feel like we were right. We were not insane. We were not crazy. But letting go of that, there could be fear around that idea or concept if you haven't yet. But once you really let go of things, you start to experience the value of peace, or the true like nature of peace. So making peace with your past is making peace with yourself, really. It's not about who you're forgiving and what. It's about you forgiving yourself for holding on to that or for being attached to that. You know what I mean? So I just think that's another key factor to understanding your present self, right? Seeing yourself as you truly are, not who you think you are or what you thought you were or who you might think they think you are. Like, no, it's about seeing yourself for who you are currently. Next, counter the negative with more positive. I mean, it's simple, right? It is simple. In order to remember your impact that you have on people, that you leave on this world, right? No matter what you do in this life, you could be Jesus was a freaking carpenter. You think he was like on like touching the whole world just by being a carpenter? No, Jesus was a great fucking example, right? Of the fact that you don't have to be doing the biggest and baddest thing in the world to feel validated, right? As long as you're your authentic self, you're gonna get everything that you ever wanted out of life or needed out of life, right? So like, not to bring Jesus into this, but like, that's a great example of the necessity to counter the negative with more positive, because a lot of the negative stems from things that we tell ourselves. It's not other people hating on you. It could be. It's not other people doubting you. It could be. It's more so yourself doubting yourself or hating on yourself because you're not exactly where you want to be yet. You got to give yourself patience. You got to be patient with yourself. You got to give yourself that grace, right? That time to develop and grow, right? Regardless of your age, just because you haven't reached a dream yet or a desire, a certain specific desire yet, does not mean it's still not possible. It means you have to believe even more. It means you have to counter that negativity that is growing from within you and counter that with some positivity, even if you gotta like be constructively delusional, right? Like you don't have to be living a truth to convince yourself, manifest, and like exist within a truth, right? If I tell myself I'm gonna be a millionaire, if I tell myself that every day, write it down every day, genuinely believe that I already am a millionaire, like within the next 20 years, I'm gonna be a millionaire. You know what I mean? Like if that, it is all up to you, how you see your life and how you approach your life. But it is your life, so you have that free will, you know? So like nobody's gonna be there to remind you, hey, tell yourself something nice today. I mean, maybe there might be, but like most times in our life, we don't get that, there's not that blessing, right? There's not those people that are like, so considerate of like they love themselves enough to be considerate of others, you know? They're not just worried about themselves. So it's like, if you have that in your life or you find that in your life in any way, shape, or form, that's a blessing. But last one, play with life more, right? Engage with the things that you desire and that fulfill you within this life. Don't limit yourself to like goal, dream. Like don't limit yourself to these like expectations, right? Those self-limiting things. Like have fun. Go do some dumb shit, right? Even if no matter what age you are, go on the swings at the park down the street, you know? Go do something to make you just feel like, oh my God, like I'm living right now. I'm not tending to the responsibilities of life. I'm experiencing the freedom of life or within life. You know what I mean? That shit is also going to help remind you that you're doing so much better than you believe, because you're going to allow yourself the grace to relax, right? You're going to allow yourself the grace to have that time for yourself to feel connected to the inner child or the inner freedom that has always been there, right? We go through life, we start to experience the laws that exist around us, you know, you can't do this, you can't do that. We start to experience the schedule that is built around us because we have to eat and survive, right? You got to go here at this time, leave at this time. We let that become something that is so limiting to the expression or the freedom of our soul because we really have no choice. We don't want to do that, right? Life is just life. So in order to basically meet life halfway and still experience life for the beauty and the divinity that it is, we have to do more things that just make us feel connected to that, I don't want to say silly, but like that fun side of ourselves, right? Who we know exists in our heart, but sometimes we get caught up in our emotions not emotions, caught up in our motions, right? The repetitive things that we just have to tend to, that we disconnect or like we like put it on the back burner, like, hey, I can't have fun, I got to do this, that, and the third. Like life is beating my ass up right now. Nah. It might be for sure, but you need to remind yourself how important at least carving out those 5-10 minutes a day is for you to just do something that feels like good to your heart and soul, you know? But I'm Sovereign Energy. I hope you guys are doing well today. If you want a private reading, private message, channel from Spirit, link will be in the description box below. Same with the social media. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.